Welcome back to 1914 and the fifth video in our playthrough series on the 2 or Less channel. We are with the Austria-Hungarian Empire, who have made their purchase of one plane to replace the one that was lost at the end of the last turn, and some infantry and artillery. And they've, well, I was going to say they got their chicken on. They've got their discretion being the better part of valour, in their mind at least. Let's have a quick look at Western Europe. There's plenty of flags down here. The crew that are in Albania, just here, they're actually going to pull back out and move themselves into Trieste. Reason being, there's only one Italian there. They are going to gain the 2 IPCs for that manoeuvre out of there. But the Austria-Hungarians could do with the units more towards this border with Italy. So we're going to pull these out of here. Adjust the IPC tracker, 1, 2, and the Trieste crew were going to be going into Venice along with the Tiralia crew. Unfortunately, when I put that onto the board, it looked, 1 second, a wee bit dangerous. Attackers being on the right hand side here, defenders on the left. We really don't want to be doing that at this stage, because there isn't enough follow-up to come through just yet. So the battle flags are coming back off, and the crew are going to move in from Vienna to back it up. In doing this, as it comes round to the next turn, Italy will gain the 2 IPCs by us not contesting this region. Okay, that's not too terrible, but they can only ship 2 more units in from Tuscany, whereas we'll be able to ship an extra 8 units in. So it will redress that balance slightly, and we'll be on for a good fight, and we can probably get that plane down from Vienna involved in the action. The other movements we are making is half the crew from Vienna. Sorry, that was going in there as well. Half the crew from Vienna are moving into Galicia, and the crew from Ukraine are engaged in a battle. That's going to happen. We can't avoid that. And right up there in Sevastopol, well, Romanian guys, they're going to move in and take this one on. They're slightly short of units, but it's going to be plenty enough distraction for the Russians to want to get involved in that one too heavily. Down on the board, I've kind of half set this thing up. The Russians have 6 units plus 3 artillery and 1 plane, so they will have air advantage. The Austria-Hungary guys have 4 infantry and 2 artillery, so they are slightly down on the job here. But as I say, the Russians have to really look at their Moscow Central and Ukraine regions more than Sevastopol. A good roll will be good for Russians, a bad roll won't be terrible for them. So, infantry artillery rolling at 3s in with the attacking Austria-Hungary forces, and they get 2 hits. That's nicely average. And 2 at 2, tying up that region, and no hits. Okay. The 1 Russian aircraft rolls and gets a hit at 2. Oh, that's handy. And their artilleries all get promoted to 4. 3 of those and get 1 hit. Their 6 infantry units all roll at 3s, and they get 3 hits. That was a bit heavier than I actually wanted up there. It's really not very good news for the Austria-Hungarians up there in Sevastopol. I was expecting them to lose, but not lose quite that heavily. They're going to have just the 1 infantry left. Well, we can't move units in from the Ukraine to back them up. I'm guessing that they're going to be wiped out in Sevastopol. but it may mean backing some units up into Romania on the next go. There should be enough units up there to finish the Russian job off, but got to keep a wary eye on that one. This is a position after the units have been tidied up in the Trieste and Tyrolia region. I've taken the liberty of putting the units into Vienna from its mobilisation. We haven't yet done the Ukraine attack. That will end the round. It's going to be a walkthrough, as you can see that. Here it is on the board. We can roll the dice just for the hell of it, because we're like that. 4 artillery promoting 4 infantry, all up to 3s, and there's plenty enough hits there that needing to roll the rest. That's a done deal. In reply, the one plane goes in at 2s and misses, and the one defending infantry at 3s gets a hit. Okay, I shall mark that up on the board. Next up will be the Russian purchase and whatever battle they decide to do with their Sevastopol units. Catch you in a sec. Russian purchases in round 3 are predictable. 6 guys, stout and hardy, waiting to do their bit for Mother Russia. And their moves are equally predictable. Let's fly over to there. Very simply, guys from Livonia and Karelia are moving into Moscow and support the capital. And the guy from Kazakhstan is going to retreat to Tatarstan, and Sevastopol, I keep saying Sevastopol, and Sevastopol are going to stand and fight. That's on the board. It should take a mere twice to overcome the Austria-Hungary forces that are there. We may even get away with just using the one plane. Got all the dice in the way. 1 at 2, hit, misses. Artillery promoting infantry, well, come on, it's not going to survive that, is it? No, it doesn't. There's at least 2 hits there. It's only a matter now of Austria-Hungary applying to see if it gets any damage done, and it does get a hit. So I shall return that to the board and set up Germany. These are the German purchases on turn 3. Just the 4 infantry artillery, giving themselves a little bit of change. So money in the back bin will pay dividends later on, we are hoping, for the Central Powers. Turn 4 will be tanks, and the extra, I think 9 IPCs they were keeping back, well, that's a tank and a half. Always going to be useful. And in terms of the Central Powers as a whole, let's just fly up to the Russian borders, or even Russia itself. Austria-Hungary can get through to Moscow. Whether they have enough strength to take it in one go, we don't know. But the Germans get a walk into Belarus and put their battle flag down there and claim the, how many IPCs? Just 2 IPCs. I think that gives them 40. I will check that to make sure my counting isn't completely corrupted. Guys from Prussia, they can move into Poland to back everything up. I think we've got enough. I think. Best laid plans of mice and men and all that. Sweeping further round, we have these guys in Berlin are going to move into Kiel. These guys are already in Holland, but 2 of the artillery from Belgium will move back up into there. The plane has come from the Berlin factory, so they have got an advantage with air cover and air superiority, should we say, plus the extra artillery unit. Belgium is holding station for a moment. The 2 guys from Ruhr are going to move in just to bulk up the numbers there. The 2 planes in the Ruhr are going to fly down to Lorraine for the big battle that's going to take place there, and it is a big battle because everybody from Alsace are moving in. It actually makes, surprisingly, completely equal forces. 14 infantry on either side, 5 artillery on either side, and 2 planes. So it's really going to be a battle in the air to decide the outcome of this, we think, because the air superiority is going to give a good kick to the winning side's artillery. That's on the board. It's ready to go. Apart from it being too many dice, we have to have some substitutes over there. The first thing we're going to need to do is roll the air attack. We would take the 2 German planes first, try and get a hit at 2, and they get 1 hit. So one of the French planes is definitely lost. French planes both get a miss, so that's 1 down. The air battle obviously continues until there's a complete winner. No hits from the Germans. The French single plane flies at 2 and misses again. 2 German planes dodging around the air. Both hit this time. That French plane is destroyed. Can the French get something back in reprisal? No, it can't. So, Germany get complete superiority in the air. I'll just reach across and remove the 2 French planes in case I don't forget later. They're in the bin. And for the ground war, with the 2 German planes flying over, fire again and strafe the ground units, get 0 hits. But 5 infantry get promoted, and 5 of the artillery are promoted. So we go big and go small, starting off with the 5 artillery at 4. And I see, a big 4 hits. That's going to be damaging. 5 artillery on their own. 5 infantry, I mean. At 3s, and another 3 hits. Finally, will be the infantry on their own, attacking at 2s. And I see just the 2 hits. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 hits. That's just about 60% of the French that have been lost. In reply, we get rid of those 2 big dice, that were substitutes. We have all these at 3, and we have another 5 more at 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Big handfuls. So big it takes 2 hands. Looking for, I see quite a few 3s. This is painful, painful, painful. There's more to come yet. Wow. Okay. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. As opposed to 9. So, surprisingly, a slight advantage to the French on the damage being dealt. But I think you have to say that's an advantage to the Germans, because they still have their 2 planes in the air ready for any kind of reply from the French later on in this turn. This is how it looks in Lorraine after the battle. Over in the background is the Holland battle. It's on the board. Let's roll it out. The Germans have air superiority. Their plane misses. Their artillery are promoted, and so are their infantries. So 2 artilleries at 4, both get a hit. 2 infantry at 3, and they get 1 hit. That's enough to secure Holland for the Germans, provided someone's still alive in them, which they will be. 3 at 3 in reply, and just the 1 hit. Last but not least, and we can't forget this, is the small matter of the South African colony. Germans will be attacking at 2, the Brits will be defending at 3, so we're on the back foot here. See if we can manage to pull a rabbit out of the hat to end this turn. German attack. They get a hit. Nice. British attack. Oh, I rolled off the board. Get that one right again. And they get 1 too. So that's a score draw. I'll sort that out. And next up will be France. Ahead of us are the purchases for France's Turn 3. Infantry, artillery and one fighter plane. Was tossing up with the idea of saving the 6 IPCs for a tank next go, but that may be more useful to get on the board early. It is quite a complex manoeuvre this time, with guys going all over the place, or messieurs going all over the place. There's going to be some battles. We are going against the odds in one of them, but as any good politician would say, the units are a sacrifice I'm willing to make. Down here in Africa, it's we're taking part in what we've named as Operation Money Grab. Guy from Gold Coast is going to Togoland. 2 guys from Gold Coast getting on the transport and going into Nigeria to attack the Germans there. If they're successful, they can walk into Cameroon next go. 2 more guys from another transport on the Gold Coast are going down to Angola. They can walk straight into there, grab an IPC and then split left and right and grab the remaining ones before those nasty Brits get in there. Talking of nasty Brits and their weakened forces, well, we're not leaving them completely bereft. The monsieur from Libya is going to Egypt. The guy from Egypt is going to Transjordan to help the Brits out against the Ottomans. And over in Europe, where it becomes even more complex, guys from Picardy can move into Venice and support the Italians. It's a very multinational game this week. And over in the French mainland, these guys here in Picardy are all rolling themselves into Lorraine. They're not going to attack Belgium. They're going to sort of try to attack on one front rather than 2. The guys that are in Paris that were born last go, they're going to go into Picardy to add it as a blocking force. And the one transport ship with the fleet that got moved last time will take that artillery into Piccadilly, not Piccadilly, into Sea Zone 8 and wait there. It can do that because it's not a hostile sea zone. The rest of the French fleet, well, they're going to be big and brave and take on the Germans in the North Sea, Sea Zone 9, and we will see what happens there. All these infantry and artillery and the German planes in opposition are on the battle board. Let's go and roll that one out. Here we are. It looks scary, the scary thing who scares. There is no artillery air support for the artillery, so they all go at 3s. So do all the infantry, supported by enough artilleries. So this is the whole French attack in one roll. I think it's 21, it might be 20. Oh, and there are loads of good numbers there. Let's have a quick look. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 hits off of the Germans. That is slightly more than I was expecting. In reply, the 2 German planes will bring their infantry up to 4s. That could be quite telling. They themselves have shots at 2, and both of them have missed. Their artilleries, who are all at 4s, they get 4 good hits there. I think the French have won this, hands down, even with whatever these infantrymen can do at 3s. And they get 2 more hits. Well, that's a decisive victory for the French there. I'm not sure if it's going to wipe out the Germans, but I shall divvy that up and get the probably the sea battle on the board for next time. Just to the right hand side here are the forces that were lost in that Lorraine battle. The Germans were wiped out to the exact number quite handily. The French have gained 2 IPCs, putting them up to 28 now. That's quite handy. And obviously with Operation Money Grab in Africa, they could get into the 30s quite easily. In front of us is the sea battle. We will have the 2 French battleships rolling at 4 first. And they get 2 hits. Ooh, that's not going to be nice for the Germans. And the 1 cruiser goes in at 3 and gets a miss. So we have to take 2 off the Germans straight away. I should imagine they will try to absorb it on the lowest pieces. So they're going to be losing the submarine and 1 of the cruisers. In reply, we have the battleship limping at 4, scoring a hit. They have the 2 cruisers at 3s. They get a second hit. And that 1 submarine on its own at number 2s, and that gets a miss. So we have to take 2 damage on both sides. Obviously the Germans will lose the 2 weakest units. And the French will take 2 hits and absorb them on their battleships. I believe there's no reason for the French to hold back on that attack. Apart from economically, they wouldn't want to lose any of their 3 expensive units, but with a chance to completely wipe the Germans off of the map here in the seas, I think they're going to press that attack forward. I was in 2 minds there, but 2 battleships rolling at 4s, and they both miss. 1 cruiser at 3 gets a hit. So 1 more attack damage done on there. The German battleship is going to roll at a 4. Came off the board, my mistake. It misses, and the cruiser rolls at a 3, and that misses as well. Okay, it's no-brainer now. French are going to press this attack. 2 battleships, they get 1 hit, that's enough. And the German reply, it misses. Wow, it was a risky move, but it's paid off for France. Next up, I believe we will sort out our manoeuvres and our battle in Nigeria. So we're down here in Africa, in the Gold Coast to Togoland. We'll give France 1 IPC. Let me just do that. That manoeuvre has happened. The guys going into Angola, another IPC. Puts France up to around 30. And in Nigeria, the battle is on the board. Let's roll that out. 2 stout and hardy Frenchmen rolling in at 2s. And both miss. The 1 German gets a go at 3 and gets a hit. Ooh. Well, that wasn't on the cards, but I have to accept that. And that region will remain contested. I'm guessing Togoland will be able to move in there next go and support that attack. And Angola guys, well, 1 guy will get to Nigeria eventually. Although we could use the ship to transport him back up to Nigeria if we really wanted to next time. I should get the mobilised forces into Paris and see you in video number 6. That will begin with the Brits hoping to do something in this game other than make excuses for poor dice rolls. See you in a bit.